Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Sarah here with Furniture Flip by Sarah, and in today's video, I am participating in the $100 furniture flipping challenge. So the rules are, you have to try to flip a piece of furniture for a total of $100. I haven't been keeping track as I've been going. I've just been trying to kind of work with what I got and stay in budget. So I really hope I'm able to do that. And I will show you guys the piece I am flipping. There's also 24 other furniture flippers, I believe, that are doing this challenge. So I will link them down below, but let's get into the video. The piece I'm going to be doing for the $100 challenge, see if I can flip it. I started to remove these handles because I'm going to see if I have anything that can work with it. I already spent $40 on this piece, so my budget is kind of already eaten up a chunk there. So I'm gonna try to figure out if I can use some hardware that I have left over from previous flips, and I will still account for it, but just not the full amount because it has been paid for. They're just extras. And then hopefully I have some knobs. I'm probably gonna be removing this piece here, and I wanna do a combination of stain and paint, because I think the wood on this will be really nice sanded down. It was a lot easier than I thought to remove those little side details. I don't think they were glued in, or if they were, the glue was no good anymore. There's just a few nails holding them in. So now I can sand all that off. I can tell this dresser, is super old because of the way it's made, with the keyholes that actually used to lock. And it's definitely had many lives because I believe it was painted a few different colors in the past. I can see black, blue, and even like a lime green and maybe a white, or that was like a primer. So I am going to be giving it a new life, and I'm going to be doing a paint and stain combo. So in order to drill the new holes for this piece, I'm going to go ahead and use my Craig Jig hardware kit. It just works like that right there. You set it up, line it up with the hardware holes that you need, and then just make sure you're drilling your holes properly and that they're the right distance for the hardware that you have. Now that I have the Craig Jig lined up and is clamped down, I'm going to go ahead and use my DeWalt drill here. I am just using a 3/16 bit to drill some new hardware holes. So now I have my new hardware holes right here. You can see these ones, the original ones, are a lot larger, so my hardware would have just went right through there, even if I wanted to use that. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and wood fill these. Now that my new hardware holes are all drilled, I'm gonna go ahead and use this wood filler here. This is just the Pro Bond Max wood filler, contractor's grade by Elmer's. I'll just open this up and show you guys. And I believe this is around $5, if not under $5, and you get quite a bit. So I'm gonna just go ahead and fill these larger holes here. And before I do that, I'm just gonna tape the inside to make sure no wood filler goes right through. I got all the wood fill on there, and I'm going to let this dry for a few hours before I sand it off. So to sand this down, I want to get it to the bare wood. So I'm going to go ahead and start with 80 grit and then work my way down to something smoother. And I'm just using my DeWalt Orbiter. So So I got the drawers all sanded down from the areas that I wood-filled, and I sanded the remaining area. That way I am ready to start painting. I just need to clean these, but first I am gonna finish sanding down this piece here with some 220 grit sandpaper. I just need to run to the hardware store and then get that done. So I ended up using this yellow frog tape, and I just taped off the sides instead of doing the regular like straight line. I thought I would do something a little bit different, just put it on a diagonal. That way it just looks a little bit more funky, fun when you open the drawers. So now to prime the drawers that I got them taped, I'm just going to be using some shellac based primer. This one is by Zinsser, and it's their bin shellac based. I just poured some in here. I have a microfiber roller. These ones I get from Benjamin Moore, but I'll put a picture of the package on here. And I am just using a dollar store brush. I like to wrap these up and store them in the fridge and keep them for a couple uses, but I haven't found a good way to really clean them out, so I just end up tossing them. But if you guys have any tips or tricks to clean this type of primer off of your brushes or rollers, definitely let me know down below. So now that I got the primer on the dresser before I sand it down, I'm just going to let it dry overnight. I'm going to go ahead and do my first coat of stain. I'm going to be using this, let's just flip it over, sorry. It is Linen White by Varathane. It's their ultimate wood stain, 1 coat coverage. Depending on how this looks, I might do 2 coats, but I'm thinking 1 will probably be the look I'm going. So to paint the drawers and the sides of this piece, I've decided to mix some leftover paint together that I have. This was a custom color match to this kind of taupey, almost like concrete taupe color. And then I have some Gray Owl by Benjamin Moore. This is from their regular color line. So I'm just gonna mix these together and kind of see what I get, and hopefully I will like it and I will go with this color. So I've let this sit and I'm hoping as much paint from this Gray Owl has dripped in. Yep, perfect. And I'm just going to mix it again. Get that in there. If I didn't mention, I am using the Benjamin Moore Advanced line. I love using this paint for furniture. It goes on really well. It comes in different finishes. The two that I mixed together are in a pearl finish. Now I'm just going to take my little stick and see how it's going to look against that wood grain. Don't mind the recycling in the background. I'm running low on space. I think that color is going to be a really nice combo and something different from just like your stark white. So now that these drawers have sat for quite a while, I'm just going to go ahead and use my 120 grit sandpaper, and I'm just going to sand this by hand and making sure that my primer is super smooth and no dust or particles got into it. And I'm also going to repeat this for the dresser. Now I'm just going to wipe the drawers down with a damp cloth. The brush I am using to paint the corners and edges of this piece is a Purdy brush. I believe they are made in the USA. I picked mine up from Benjamin Moore, and I believe Home Depot sells like a kit of their brushes, and I have the Firm. I have the 1.5 and the 2-inch brush, and I love using them. They're super smooth and leave a nice finish, but then again I go over the flat surfaces with my microfiber roller, and I find when I use the roller it covers the area better, so I can get a better surface coverage that way. And I ended up doing 3 coats on this piece, and again 2 coats of primer. Super important to not forget the prep work. The primer I used is shellac based, so it'll block any like tangents that come up from the wood, any old cleaning products or dirt that is in the wood, especially when you're working with super old pieces like this dresser. You want to make sure you're using a heavy duty primer and paint so you have a super durable finish and your clients are happy with it. This piece here is actually for sale. It'll be posted on my website, my Instagram, Facebook page, Facebook Marketplace, Carrot, anywhere that I can sell my painted items. I will post it on there, and then again I have it on my website. Once I was completed the 3rd coat and everything had dried, I went ahead and just removed all of the yellow tape I had to create that kind of triangular edge. So removed all that and cleaned everything up, and it looked super crisp. I'm going to go ahead and top coat the wood parts of this dresser that I stained. I'm going to go ahead and use my polyurethane. This is my favorite top coat to go over wood, a wood finish or stain. This is their satin one, and this is the diamond wood finish by Varathane. I usually just buy the large one. And I'm not going to use a ton of this because I don't have a huge area to cover, but I will calculate the amount of top coat I'm going to be using. So again, I'm just going to work with this right out of the can. I'm not going to pour it into anything, and I'm just going to be using a foam brush. I believe this is around $1.50, so I will add that to the cost. And I'm probably going to end up doing 4 coats of this because I think the wood is just going to soak it up. If I were to do 2 coats, I just feel like the durability wouldn't be there, so doing the 4 coats I feel like is the safe route to go. I've done a few different dining room tables in like a paint wash or a stain finish, and then I've gone over top of them with 4 to 5 coats of this, and they've held up great. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just flip my drawer over, and I'm going to use this here as my guide, the insert, to measure my sticky wallpaper. Just going to go ahead and mark it over here. I have like a long metal ruler here. I'm just going to use this as my guide. And now I'm just going to use my scissors to cut along those lines I just marked. So now before I put this in, I am going to make another one because this is going to be the same size as that drawer there. Before I glue this in, I'm just going to make sure my drawer is nice and clean. Perfect. So now I'm going to go ahead and just peel back this half here. I can find a starting point. Peel it back, I'm just going to line it up. Then I just have this, I think it's for drywall. Yeah, drywall knife, and I'm just going to use this to flatten it out. And then I'm going to peel back more of this and go from there. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the handles and knobs on this piece. I got these off of Amazon. Again, they were just left over from previous projects, so I didn't have to go and spend any money on them. When I was using my Craig jig, I wasn't completely lined up, or maybe it shifted because my handles weren't going in properly, so I had to just get my drill and kind of widen the holes to come in a bit more in order to fit my handles, and I had to use larger screws just that way I could fit them in and I didn't have to completely start from scratch and re-drill. Here is the final look of the dresser. Let me know what you guys think of how it turned out with doing the paint combination and switching out the hardware. I would love to know your thoughts down below. And I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I love the wood grain against the paint. I love the contrast that it gives, but I would still love to hear your guys' opinion. Before I reveal how much I spent on this piece, don't forget to comment down below if you think I was able to complete the challenge. Again, it was to flip a piece for under $100, which if you flip furniture, you know is pretty tricky. So let me know down below if you think I was able to complete it or not. So I wrote down everything that I spent money on for this challenge. I have wood filler, sandpaper, primer, paintbrush / rollers, stain, tape, and my top coat, and my grand total comes to $116. So I did not complete the challenge. I failed by $16, which kind of sucks, but I think it's still pretty close. I didn't go over too much. Let me know what you guys thought of the flip down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time with another furniture flipping video. Bye! Don't forget to go watch the other YouTubers who participated in this challenge, and I'll have them linked down below.